All right, we back. And of course, I got to deal with the fights going down tonight. UFC Noche. Let's talk about it. Now, you see the thumbnail. I believe, and I've already shared my thoughts, I believe the most likely outcome is Alexa Grasso. I think that's the most likely. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying that Grasso is just better, because in the first fight and in the second fight, Grasso could have been stopped. She almost got guillotined, almost got choked, almost got armbarred. It's easy to forget, but several times over the course of those two fights, Grasso was in trouble. There was a threat of a submission. So Shevchenko always has a chance. But I think the most likely outcome is Alexa Grasso, this time by decision. She's already stopped Valentina. Okay, she's already stopped her. She had a draw in the rematch, which I thought was a Grasso victory. And if she might eke a decision this time. And I'm personally surprised this trilogy even happened. I honestly expected, after the rematch, after the draw, I expected Shevchenko to have to fight one other fighter. And I still feel like that would have been the best thing to do. Let's see if Shevchenko, after this rematch, we gave her immediate rematch, she got a draw. Let's see if, you know what I'm saying? She needs a stoppage. And I think that's the least likely outcome. For whatever reason. Look, Grasso is just hard to stop. Difficult to stop. Look at all the submission attempts and fails by Shevchenko. Fails to submit Alexa Grasso. So, far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. It's even more likely or possible that Grasso wins by decision. She's already won by decision. Let's just look at this as a process of elimination. Eliminating possible outcomes. Shevchenko by stoppage, that's the first thing we need to throw out. Even though she is, she's excellent. She's above average. She's an expert. She's an outlier. She's a legend. Pioneer. She basically raised the bar for the women. No disrespect to her. But man, she has tried several times to stop Grasso and couldn't. That's one. Two, Grasso doesn't get stopped like that. She don't get stopped very often. Simple as that. So Grasso by stoppage is a more likely outcome if you ask me. Grasso by decision is a more likely outcome if you ask me. Because all this time, she's getting more and more adapted to Valentina's style. People underestimate. And this trilogy has a lot to do with people not giving Grasso proper respect. In a way, Grasso seems to be fighting that pretty girl curse, where she didn't win this belt and she didn't defend it with looks. Really, Grasso is like one of my favorite fighters. because she's very cute, and she's not distracted by it. She don't feed into the attention, right? She don't lean into it. Instead, she leans into her training. As Shelton Harrison recently pointed out, she is rock solid at 125. And I mean, that girl is rock solid at 125. It's the last time y'all checked out her handle. I want to show y'all something. And then we'll come back to this. Your girl Alexa is meaty. That's a meaty girl up under those clothes. Look at her. Whaley approved of the biceps. Go on ahead, girl. You see, guys look at stuff like this and they're too distracted by her cute face. Now, she got some 15-pound dumbbells. Now, I personally would make her go 20 and up. But I'll give her a pass on that. It's not all about heavy weights. And she got hard punches anyway. Give her a full pass on that. But that's not what I wanted to show you. Where is this? And I'm going to find it right here. Look at that girl's back. I said, look at it. And this is at 125. Girl, you moved up 10 pounds and you rocking a back like that right now. This was in July. She uploaded this. She posted this July 17th. Now, maybe it's an older, who knows when it was taken. But she is solid and strong at 125. And I don't think she gets proper credit for it because she's cute. She don't get proper credit for it because she's cute. Also, now let's go back. Poor Grasso. I want people to reflect on the rematch. Because it's the rematch where a lot of people feel like Shevchenko was robbed. And they talk about the rematch as if it was some sort of Shevchenko whitewash. The majority of those jabs by Valentino were blocked. I don't care what the strike stats say. The majority of those shots were blocked, partially landed, deflected, etc. They were not damaging shots. And people are trying to award Shevchenko the victory for shots like that. First, that's not how the official judging works, and that's not how I work. When people refer to Shevchenko and say, oh, I thought she won, they're talking about the accumulation of those jabs that she was landing, along with the right crosses and whatnot. I mean, those right crosses were blocked, deflected, partially deflected, etc. These were not damaging shots, and Alexa Grasso was not restrained as she was receiving them, like Shevchenko was when Shevchenko was receiving shots. And I just can't give Shevchenko the fight based on that. And what people seem to forget is that Alexa Grasso was landing shots in that rematch. in the rematch where people project this idea that Shevchenko just, you know, walked right over her or walked through her and was so dominating her. Not the case. And the images I'm showing is from the rematch. That's not the case. Shevchenko was getting thumped. She was taking some thumps in there. And they were just as hard as the ones she was dishing out. She's taking some jabs. She's taking some right crosses. You know, I've seen far more dominant fights or fighters, performances than this. If you're going to try to say Shevchenko won based on her jabs and her little striking moments in the rematch, I want to see clear and obvious domination and that opponent being outclassed. That's not what I saw. This was fairly even, fairly tit for tat, with that Valentina having a slight advantage. With both of them holding 5 points for a total of 10, I'd say Shevchenko was turned up to 6 and Grasso at 4. I wouldn't go no further than that. That was 6-4 in my opinion. The striking moments where Shevchenko is said to have won the rematch itself. But stuff like this is different. You see, this is different from landing or absorbing jabs or even a right cross. Many of those jabs Shevchenko landed, guess what? Grasso landed one at the exact same time. Guess what? They were deflected. And guess what? And keep in mind how Grasso always got her hands up. When Grasso ate those shots, those jabs and right crosses, she still had control of her body. Her body was not under the control by her opponent. Yeah, Shevchenko was landing some jabs. But when Grasso was landing these lollipops right here that you're looking at on the screen, right? When Grasso was landing these jawbreakers right here, Shevchenko's physical body was restrained. This attack, this onslaught, involves humiliation. Pause. When you're talking about a fight, you always want to be the fighter who was not humiliated. That's just what it is. I don't want to hear it from nobody. Don't tell me you want to be the fighter landing little pity-pat jabs that your opponent basically smiling at. No, you want to be whoever the fighter was that had them pinned down like this and landing gumdrops on them. Bolo hammer fists, beat it. And Grasso, in this moment, positioned herself to where she could talk to Shevchenko, talk smack to her like her mama. She could have been running her mouth at this moment. This type of attack involves humiliation and restraint of your faculties. It's far more significant than a damn jab. Go on, hit me with your little jab. If I get to do this, go on, hit me with 10 of those jabs. I'll take 5 of these. I'll take 5 of these. I'll take 10 of your jabs if I can get off 5 of these right here with you pinned down. I just believe Grasso's moments were far more significant. And what I My argument is in line with the judge's scoring system, the judging criteria. This is not only damaging. Should understand Grasso is getting full extension. This is humiliating and embarrassing. If you're gonna tell, someone who's never seen you fight, hey, watch my fight, this is the one position you don't want to be in. You'd rather take jabs. I wouldn't mind people seeing me take a jab or a right cross. I got my hand up, it's partially deflected. I kind of lean back at the same time. Go ahead and look at that. But I don't want you to look at me in this type of position. Are you kidding? Oh, y'all think we're not going to talk about it? We must need to get close and personal. Prior to this, we had never seen anybody humiliate Valentina. Nobody had ever embarrassed her before she ran into Grasso. People not giving Grasso credit for that. Grasso broke Valentina in that sense. Lifted up her skirt. Humiliated her. Embarrassed her. How about that choke where once Grasso released it, the bottom half of Shevchenko's face was white as snow and the top half was beet red. That's humiliating. It's embarrassing. And I just feel like Shevchenko had to be the recipient of too much of that to be viewed as the winner. She had to take too much humiliation over the course of these two fights. In that rematch, same thing. More humiliation, getting punched and knocked down so hard that you did a backflip. That is humiliating. That's the fighter you don't want to be in a fight. You want to be the fighter who landed that punch. People, I understand how people saying, oh, I thought she won because in a point scoring, just like boxing, we count the jabs. It's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, I hit you 10 times. That's unrealistic. That's why the new judging went beyond that. No, they measuring damage. How damaging are these shots? Are you restraining your opponent? Have you imposed your will on your opponent to the point where you've limited their ability to defend themselves? You get more credit for that's more significant of an attack. Simple as that. Shevchenko got dominated. It wasn't no utter domination, but she has been defeated and people don't want to accept it. They look at the first fight. Oh, she made a mistake. She's still invincible. Look at it. They say that about the first fight. They look at the second fight. They look at the rematch. Oh, she really won. She's still invincible. And there's nothing surprising about this. This happens to all great historic legendary fighters. Their fans will hold on until they're utterly, irrefutably dominated. They're going to hold on to their invincibility or perceived invincibility. And that's what it seems like what's happening right now with Shevchenko. When I'm not seeing that, I'm looking at that second fight for what it was. Grasso had better moments. And she had a more significant attack. Her offense was more significant in the rematch. Point blank, period. Jabs are not considered power shots for a reason. Oh, we about to have church tonight. Shout out to Lolita and Bipolar in the building. Jabs are not considered power strikes. They're not considered power shots for a reason. They're the easiest to land. So you have a lot of fighters who try to win off jabs. Easy to land. It's easy to get out of harm's way after you land. It's quick, but it's not damaging. And there's lower risk with jabs. You're always at a higher risk of getting hit when you throw a right cross or anything other than a jab. So I can't give credit to that. The humiliation don't stop when it comes to Shevchenko. This right here, this was humiliating and embarrassing. Do your trademark spin kick and it get shamed and humiliated. I mentioned groups, fraternities, they have humiliation rituals for a reason. They will allow you to move up in rank and status if you're willing to be humiliated. I can't look at this as insignificant. I didn't see Grasso receiving this type of humiliation like that. How about that flurry? Oh, that famous, legendary flurry. Where was that? That was in the third round. No, second round. And remember, I gave Grasso round 2, 4, and 5. 2, 4, and 5. But in round 2, Grasso landed. She was start teeing off on Valentina. In a way, Valentina has yet to tee off on her. Why can't we see offense like that from Shevchenko? I don't think it's unfair to request that. Like, hey, Valentina, she's throwing combinations. She's teeing off on you. She's having these sustained attacks where she's clearly trying to finish you. Can we see some from you as well? That's not an unfair request. And it doesn't mean that I'm not a Shevchenko fan. I'm a diehard Shevchenko fan. Very few people gave her type of credit that I gave her. But I believe Grasso beat her in both fights. And because of that, I'm taking her in the trilogy. More humiliation. There were more moments of humiliation than I can actually sit here and remember, where it was embarrassing. These are moments where you don't look dominant at all. You are very vulnerable. You don't look vulnerable when you're taking a jab. You got your hands up and you get partially blocking these jabs. You're not looking helpless. Nobody's worried for you. Nobody's looking at that and saying, uh-oh, will the fight stop here? And it's like people refuse to look at that part of the game. Not me. Not WMMA addict. I'm sorry. I think the most likely outcome is that this fight goes to another decision. And I suspect the judges, especially with the Noche, and this is the Mexican holiday, I expect that decision to go to Grasso. I think a Valentina Shevchenko win by decision is the least likely. I think that's the least likely outcome. You know, if Shevchenko had the ability to be turned up to 9 to 8 or 9 versus Grasso being turned up to 2, 1 or 2. If Valentina had the ability to put that much distance between herself and Grasso, she would have done it by now. We look at these moments where they, where they stood, where they had, a striking match, and we'd be worried like, Grasso need to get this fight to the ground right now. Grasso's being destroyed on the feet. It's not that one-sided when they strike. It's just not. And when we talking about striking, only one fighter got punched in the face so hard they did a backflip. Only one fighter was, as early as the second round, absorbing repeated strikes. So, man, I feel like if Valentina wins by decision, she's going to have to make Grasso look like a novice. It's going to have to be a performance like that, where Grasso look like she has no business in there with Valentina. I don't even think that's possible for Valentina to dominate her like that. It's very possible for Shevchenko to win every single round. I think Shevchenko's skilled enough to do that. But skilled enough to make her look like she don't belong in there? No. I think that's the only way Shevchenko wins by decision. On the Mexican holiday, and this is got the Noche, and this is the third fight. Grasso is the champion. You gotta imagine some judges may even be fed up with this. Right? I think that's highly unlikely, but we will see. I'm going to take Alexa Grasso, definitely give Shevchenko a chance. We will see what happens. I guess apparently we got another twerker. Do we have another twerker? She's American. We got a Becky twerker in the house. So like I said, people, okay, that's semi-twerking, I guess. You can't separate women. When women are involved, they always gonna focus on beauty and sex. Sex comes into play if you're gonna bring women into the equation. That's just what it is. They're going to get up there, they're going to twerk and all this kind of stuff. They're going to have their fans and their other fighter. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're a beauty, future champ beauty. And the ugly girls ain't going to get no hype, no support like that. I recently saw a video or a post by Natalia Silva. And Dern left Mackenzie Dern. She does that a lot. She really does give women more exposure if they're attractive. She always makes a point to credit female fighters, for their beauty. Because I feel like Mackenzie Dern herself feels like she helped to usher in and pioneer that hot girl side of WMMA. And let's not kid ourselves, it's there. In WMMA, they have their own little sect of the girls who are the top heartthrobs. They're the most lusted after by the male fans. They have their own set, and Mackenzie's a part of that. So is Natalia Silva, one of those real high, super beautiful type girls. And they get more support. They get more sponsors reach out to them, and they get more support from fans. Whereas if you a chick, you looking all busted, they're not going to follow you on Instagram, not going to be giving you no likes, they're not going to be looking at your content, they're not going to be rooting for you. Hey, you don't represent the women. They want to see women who represent women well. It's all beauty's always in the equation. I know it's rough, but I feel like I'm able to scoot that to the side. I'm able to deal with WMMA and not include their looks, where their looks ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's why channels like this, I feel like, is necessary. Men need to govern, because this is combat sports. This is our stuff. This is still ours. Women, yeah, you participate in it. But this is still a testosterone-driven sport. And I'm happy for Natalya. I just wanted her to look better. Here's that post I was talking about. There she is right there. Beauty and future champ. You see? Beauty and future champ. But Silva's serious. She seems married to her craft. I just wish she would relax a little more. Just relax, girl. Fight like you so believe in your skills, because you got an abundance of them. Her skills, she got so much skill, she don't even know how to manage it properly. Yasmin Harrii is going to fight Ketlin Souza. Okay. Yasmin Harrii. Now, I went through a slight depression when Yasmin got knocked out, because she was a hot, undefeated fighter with a lot of hype behind her. And she still is. Still does have a lot of hype behind her. I'm still looking for her. She could still be a dominant force. She just got to make sure she's not getting knocked out like that again. And she better be careful with Ketlin. I think Ketlin's a good fighter. Ketlin looked pretty good in her most recent fight. I didn't expect her to look that good. Make sure y'all check that out again if you haven't. Ketlin Souza's most recent fight, post leg break by Kareem Silva. But I'm going to take Yasmin. I'm going to take Yasmin in this fight. Yasmin's it's a very good choice. She just need to work on her defense. She's got great offense, real good hands. She just needs to work on her defense. And but look, Ketlin Souza is skilled. I give her credit. I think she's not a can. I wouldn't describe her as a low tier. I could see Ketlin becoming ranked. Put it like that. I wouldn't say top 10, or at least definitely not yet. But she's a pretty good fighter, and Yasmin better be careful. Now, Aldana against Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont, whenever she fights, you're always going to get the guys. And I like the new outfits, man. I like these new outfits. They're pretty solid. So there's too much going on with the tops here. Too much going on there. But I don't know. I like I just like the style of them. Now Norma showed off her. I guess she stuffed herself, stuffed her buns in them shorts somehow. But Norma is the queen of butts. She's the butt cheek champion. She is the glute champion. I don't know why Aylin Perez be waggling her butt all the time. Now, I bring this up because I suspect that the UFC asked her to walk out in a dress. And I'm saying to the UFC, if that's the case, don't do that. Don't do that. And shout out to Norma. I think she's avoiding wearing revealing outfits during fights because she want to be taken seriously. I get that kind of energy from Norma Dumont. She's aware that she got a whole lot of junk. I mean, like a planet full of junk in her trunk. But I think she makes an effort to, wait a minute, what's going on here? Somebody in heels and somebody not. There's no way she's, okay, yeah, Norma's in heels. But I think Norma, and I love when girls do this. I love when they do things like that. Shave your head, guys not paying attention to my skills, looking at my butt crack. Let me go put on some loose fitting britches. That way I get my credit. Y'all gonna have to pay attention to my skill set. It's just something the girls got to navigate. It's just something they got to deal with. Just like they themselves, if they're gonna be a fan of male combat sports, they got to deal with it. They see men with their shirts off, they're fit. It is what it is. But I'm tempted. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen in this fight. I could see either one of them winning this fight. Norma got a lot of fight in her. She really does have a lot of fight in her. And I'm telling you, man, Norma, even though she might upload photos of herself at beaches in bikinis and stuff, I don't consider that, being all an Instagram model. I don't consider that Instagram model type stuff. But Norma is serious. She is serious. At least from what I can tell. She don't play into that at all. She is all about business. As big as her butt is, she about business. And she could have, I don't know if she have OnlyFans, but she could be cleaning house with OnlyFans. And if she's not, if she ain't cleaning house with OnlyFans, she has to have an OnlyFans, man. If she don't have an OnlyFans, then that Norma is officially the champion in my mind. How did she resist? How did she manage not to do that? I'm about to look it up now. About to look it up now. Now, a lot of fighters have OnlyFans, but they're like PG-13 OnlyFans. Now, I don't think she has one. Good for her. Good for Norma. That girl is dead serious about her business. She always have time to be cute. I do think she's an attractive woman. Shout out to Marquise Raheem Davis up in here. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all three of these fights. So hopefully they won't disappoint. And shout out to Manon, who made weight and is the backup fighter. Manon is ready to go. I'm telling y'all, this woman is dangerous. She's dangerous right now. Manon Fiorot is dangerous right now because she knows she's getting older. She ain't getting no younger. She's at that age where she needs to make everything happen right now. She another fighter who seemed very, very serious. Even though she had some cosmetic surgery on her face done, that's business. I view that as business. Don't hold that against her or any of these other fighters at all, because you're going to be the face of a lot of people's product. So that was 100%. But Manon is all about business. She's all about business. And them girls is around that age, 32, 33. I believe they start to fight harder. They've been doing it for a long time. They're comfortable and they realize they're getting older and they need to be serious as ever at that time. So wait a minute, what's going on? Yeah, I don't see how. There's people who believe Grasso won the rematch, but it seemed like there should be a lot more. Like, I see a lot of people who say Shevchenko won, and they're dead set Shevchenko won. I just don't get that. I mean, I could get you saying, like, yeah, Shevchenko won, but I could see a lot of them don't even understand how Grasso could have been given that decision. But it was a draw. Officially, it was a draw. But it wasn't a draw on my card. It was not a draw on my card. And Shevchenko got to make sure she got to stop being in compromising positions like that. She can't. That's a horrible visual, horrible optic, and she's in trouble. You're on the edge of getting stopped. If your opponent is just teeing off on you, if you getting hit so hard you fall to the ground, yeah, you in trouble. So I don't know. I think she is getting up there in age, but more than her age, I think she got a lot of wear on her tires. Remember, she's been in combat sports since before she hit puberty. Quick to remind us. Oh yeah, that's a solid fight too. I think it's on here. Shout out to WMMA Rankings. Who didn't they share that? Yeah, right here. Yeah, this will be a very solid fight. I like this Nora chick. Cavalcante, fresh in people's memory. And when is this? September. Oh, snap. So fairly quick turnaround for Cavalcante, right? That's a good look. She got some rounds in that fight too. That's a real good look. You know, it wasn't like she got a one, stopped her opponent in the first round and then come back and have another fight 2 months later. I think she went all 3 rounds. Let me see here. I'm babbling. Yeah, she went all 3 rounds of Josiane Nunes, which is not an easy fight. August, September, okay. Shout out to her. She fought August 24th. About to have another fight a month later. That's what I like to see. That's my girl already. Cavalcante. And Nora is like the opposite, right? When's the last time she fought? April 6th. Okay. Not too bad. But I like Nora. And you see that? This is a rematch. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? This is actually a rematch. They already fought back in 2021. Wow. Wow. All right. But yeah, Nora, solid, man. Look at that stoppage ratio. Only one decision she won by only one victory she won by decision. So yeah, it's solid. And this is 135. That's exactly what we need at bantamweight. Please save the division, ladies. I've been sort of slacking, not giving them proper credit as well. I need to spend more time, looking at these bantamweights. There's enough fresh meat. She's not too bad with stoppages. She's on a 3-fight decision streak. She got 1, 2, got 3 stoppages. Not the best, but I think her style, technique make up for it. After her most recent fight, there was a lot of people who was entertained. They appreciated the performance. So good. Always good to see good happening to the bantamweight division. The old, tired division. There was another fight. I thought that was another fight. This got to go. Female heavyweight MMA? No. Well, maybe I can't say that. They look like they're going at it. As long as they ain't big, fat, sloppy, I don't want to see no big hamburgers fighting. They look aggressive. So let me retract that. I have to start checking out the heavyweights. I haven't even looked at them yet. I saw the highlights and I'm like, man, nah. Those highlights look all right. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't want to play too much of it and get a copyright strike. That's actually a lot of fights I need to get caught up on. So I got a full weekend. Full weekend of work. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Rolando Rodriguez. I don't even think I've heard of that. Rolando Rodriguez. Let me see here. Sound like a man. Is that a woman? I'm pulling up a man. Why would you ask me to talk about Rolando? Unless you spelled it wrong. All right, let me get out of here. Big shout out to all of you able to join me. Those are my picks. Ketlin Souza. I'm taking Harrii over Souza. I don't know. I didn't even take nobody, Irene Aldana or Norma Dumont. I'm gonna lean towards Aldana. She might be able to dance around to a decision. I'll take Aldana in that fight, and I'm gonna take Alexa Grasso over Valentina Shevchenko. We'll see what happens, and I will see y'all on the next live stream.